Quick disclaimer, guys. I just want to say that if you guys haven't caught up to the anime yet, please do because this has a lot of spoilers. I hope you enjoy. Thank you.
Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. And so today it's just gonna be me, unfortunately. But don't worry, because doesn't mean it's just gonna be me forever. There will also be other videos where it's just one of us, no matter which one it is. But anyways, today on this video, we're gonna be talking about the different races in the One Piece world. And so I guess let's just go. So our first race that we're going to start off with is the humans, the most common one. And so humans mainly rule over most of the world, which is kind of understandable since, most races kind of live either in their certain areas or they're just like little sections and everywhere. But anyways, I also, I'll pause the video real quick. Before we do continue on, so I know I'm probably not going to get through every single race, and that's okay because there's probably like hundreds that are still going to come out, and I may even do another video updating once the armor races, and I'm probably even going to miss a few because there's just way too many. And with that out of the way, let's continue. So all humans, they may have like random features, kind of like, I don't know, maybe like something on their head or like something have to do with their body. Like just because they don't have a weird feature, or just because they have a weird feature, doesn't mean that they're not a human. And so most humans do grow to be around 1 to 8 meters tall. There are some instances where there are giant humans, which are different from giants. Just gonna say that. Like for example, Whitebeard. He'd be considered a giant human because he's definitely taller than most. Alright. So next is the Kumite tribe, if I'm pronouncing that right. Probably most of you don't even remember these guys. Honestly, I don't even remember these until I did research. And so they are a violent and isolated tribe in the East Blue. They kind of wear like primitive clothing, and they're also cannibalistic, which is kind of dark, but it's just how it is. All right, and then the next tribe is the Kuja tribe, sorry, which they are definitely more commonly known thanks to the time skip, which that kind of was great. Luffy and Hancock. Woo! All right, so the Kuja pirates are similar to humans, but they kind of have a more natural use of hockey. Like most of them can use armament and observation, and I know Boa Hancock does use Conqueror's hockey, so that's also a thing. And I think her two sisters also use armament, not armament, but Conqueror's hockey. Not too sure. Please don't hate if I get that wrong. But anyways, they also have a mysterious bond with snakes. We don't know why. I clearly have no idea if Oda's said anything about it, but they just do. So they also live on Amazon Lily, which another interesting fact that which most of you know already. It's only female, so kind of when Luffy got there, it was kind of like a big deal, and that was like a whole kind of funny arc. I guess you could say. It wasn't really much of an arc, but it was still a fun little segment. And then continuing on with another tribe is the Torino tribe, which another one that you guys probably forgot about. But these are the tribe members that Chopper was with during the 2 years time skip. Those like big round dudes, and so they are actually known for that. I'm not going with that. They are known for that. So they are short and rotund. If I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know English. I'm dumb. But they are advanced in medicine and some weapons, as you know, because they made those like rocket spears or whatever. And they live in the South Blue, and for a couple years maybe, I don't know the actual like timeline, but they did have a war with the birds, which that was kind of important for them, not the storyline. Not saying that. And then, so they do have that giant library full of medicine, which kind of, or medicine books, which kind of also helps the fact that they are hella advanced in medicine technology. And yeah, I mean, other than the fact that the tribe is mainly just like a kind of like a gathering tribe, and they use the island for all your different like medicines because of the various plants. And that's kind of just it. So next is the mink tribe, which for a little bit longer we're just going to be talking about tribes. And so the mink tribes are human-like creatures that possess animal or mammal-like features. I don't. There is no reptile or like aquatic minks because aquatics are fishermen. But anyways, the minks all carry traits to their animals. Say like carrot, she can jump higher, or say like an uh carnivorous mink would like to chew on bones or something like that. Kind of just like traits that go along with their specific animal. And so all minks are born as warriors and have this cool power called Electro, which is a fighting style that basically allows them to disperse electrical charges, which, once again, I have no clue how they got this power. I don't even know. It said how they got the power, but they do. Deal with it. And so, all minks are from Zoo, but I mean, they're mainly from Zoo, and that's kind of where they like to hang out because most people don't really like them, kind of like the fishmen. But these guys, some of them have ventured off into the world, like Carrot. She's the most notable. And then I don't really think there's much else to say. Just that, all right, don't hate me for saying this. They are basically furries. Don't hate. And all right, moving on to the next tribe. So the next tribe is going to be the long arm tribe, which these people heavily resemble humans, but the only difference between them is that they have two joints in their arms. And so these guys, if you guys remember during the 2 year time skip, were the people who Brooke was dealing with, and they eventually led on to become Brooke's managers, which I don't really entirely like these guys, but they're just there. And so another interesting fact is that they also they've had like a conflict with the long legs for around a millennium, which surprisingly enough is kind of interesting because you think the long arm and the long leg tribes would actually like go together since it's a long arm and long leg. But surprisingly, they've actually been in conflict, which I found that interesting when I was doing the research. And yeah. Also, sorry if I'm talking like hella fast. I'm just really trying to get through this because I have a whole list that I'm trying to go through, and I'm trying to not make this like a 30-minute long video, maybe like 40 minutes. I'm trying to get this down to like 20 minutes just for you guys, so that you don't get bored with me. And continuing on. So next is obviously the long leg tribe, which similar to the long arm tribe, they're they heavily resemble humans, except for the fact that they have two joints in their legs. So long legs. Long legs. Yes. Long legs. I do not have long legs, but legs. I'll stop on this. Alright, so the legs are practically what their height is, so they are almost all long leg tribe people are obviously taller than normal humans. And once again, they've been in conflict with the long arm tribe for around like a millennium, and that's pretty much all I have to say about those two because they aren't really that interesting. We don't really see much of them, or we don't really see much of their tribe. Like we see some long leg and long arm, definitely with the Charlotte family. Like Charlotte has a whole mix of people in her crew, and that's kind of like the most of that what we see about those two tribes. And then next is the Three-Eyed Tribe, which once again this has to do with the Charlotte family. So all three three-eyed people, or actually the three-eyed tribe, obviously they have a third eye on their head, which is where they get their name. And so that third eye grants the person the ability, the voice of all things, which I'm not too familiar about it. I'll probably put like a little text in to tell you exactly what it is. But that's probably something to say about that. Sorry, don't know too much. I'm a stupid boy. But also, they can the three-eyed tribe can also read the poneglyphs, which probably explains why the only person we know that's actually a part of it is Charlotte Pudding. Again, Charlotte Linlin family. Bro, actually, getting on that note, if you guys want me to make a video about that, like maybe with both of us or just any one of us, just please tell me. We'll honestly do like any topic. We obviously have our own topics, but if you guys really do suggest something, we will try and include it into one of our videos. All right. So the three-eyed tribe, they're kind of more on the rare side because I'm pretty sure we don't have too much history on it, other than the fact that Charlotte Pudding is probably the only one in the series. I don't know if they're gonna include more of them or have something to do with that, but I'm pretty sure. Like my theory on that is that since they know how to read the poneglyphs, they've probably gotten taken out by some of the world government, which probably explains why, because O'Hara, you know, boom. So yeah, and our final tribe is the Snake Necks, which again we don't really know too much about it, other than the fact that they have a long neck. But I do want to say once again, there are a couple long neck tribe members in the Charlotte Linlin family. So I just want to say Charlotte Linlin has a lot of people in her family, or a lot of like variety in her family, because she has a number of kids and a number of husbands. So, all right. To go back on topic, our next race is the world nobles, which I absolutely hate these guys. I'm pretty sure a lot of you hate them just because they're absolute trash. Hate them. Don't understand why they're needed. They're just complete snobs. And so the world nobles are basically just the descendants of the founders of the world government. And so they are ordinary people, but since they're the descendants of the founders, they think way too high of themselves, and they use other people as slaves. Don't matter what race, they literally will use, which is sad because they'll take slaves, imprison them, all that deal. And so the main reason why nobody really sticks up to world nobles is since they're the descendants. If you actually attack one of them, then a navy admiral, which is like Kizaru Akainu or Akainu, however you want to pronounce it, and shoot, Ice Guy, I forget his name, Kuzan, I think. I'm not. Oh, Aokiji. That's what it is. So yeah. So those people like those guys will come after you if you attack one, which is completely stupid. And I'm grateful that on the Solid Archipelago, I'm grateful that Luffy punched the hell out of one of them. Literally uppercut his jaw so far up his face that I swear to God, his chin up here. Chin here. Yes. Thank you, Luffy, for doing that. Alright. So, all world nobles live on Mary Joys, and whenever they're out in public, they wear protective suits just because they don't want to breathe in tainted air. Which they say that, but they're really just being stupid. Like they wear these masks just so that they don't have to breathe in air of normal people. Like bruh, bruh, bruh. They're just stupid. All right, going on, which I'm glad because I absolutely hate the world nobles. So going on, we have the fishmen, which they are like the minks, but just with fish creatures. So they're human creatures with fish features. So they can breathe above and underwater, and obviously they have traits like a fish. So take Hachi. He has like 8 arms because he's an octopus fishman. Or Arlong, which I think he's all I know is that he's just like a shark fishman. So he has the nose and I think a fin maybe. I don't know. Or it's another good example. Oh yeah, like I don't know the guy's name, but the shoot, the goldfish fishmen have like those eyes, or the male one did. Either way, you kind of get what I mean. So these fishermen are said to be 10 times stronger than humans from birth, which this is really talking about ordinary humans because people like Luffy and Shanks, all those people, they are definitely way stronger than most fishmen. And so all fishermen's strength grows stronger in water, mainly because that's like their home territory. Like obviously humans fight better above water, especially if you're a Delphi user. And fishermen fight better in water. And also, I want to say that devil fruit still affects fishermen, like with Vanderdecken and his like aim fruit or whatever it is. So yeah, he still has to use the air bubbles whenever he's underwater since he has the fruit. And then another interesting fact is that along with the one of the fishermen's like heroes is Fisher Tiger because he was a fisherman that went to Mary Joyce and raided it, freeing all the slaves and letting them go. And with the enslaved fishermen, they created the Sun Pirates, which involved uh, Jinbei, Arlong, and of course Fisher Tiger. And that's practically actually, oh yeah, Hachi. Yeah, they're all in there. And so another cool thing about fishermen is that they have this technique called fisherman karate, which is basically the manipulation of water. So, yes, shoot water. Yes, my brain don't work. All right, so next race is the merfolk, which merfolk are literally mermen and mermaids. They are different from fishmen because fishmen are they have fish features. All of merfolk are the same. It's just a human body, like the upper part of their body is human, like bottom part is a fish tail. The only thing about them. So of course they can live both in water and air. They are the fastest swimmers of any aquatic race, and they can talk to all. They can talk to fish, and with the mermaid princess Shirahoshi, so she has a special power where she can talk to the sea kings, which only a few merfolk, I think it is, have that ability, but it's only like one every like couple hundred years, I think. But yeah, it's a really neat power, and also a thing that I found interesting was kind of like with Granny Kokoro, that's her name. I forget because it was in Water Seven. I show her a picture, whatever. So all merfolk's tails will split at the age of 30. So they'll split into two, going into legs, so it's easier for them to, go into land. And so I'm pretty sure they can still keep their ability to grow their tails back when they're in the water. And I know that they can still breathe underwater because, like, during Water 7, when the whole bridge collapsed, Granny Kokoro kind of carried everyone out using her mermaid body. Oh God, I'm just thinking of that now. Not a pretty sight. Anyways, keep going on. We now have the giants, which there are a few types of giants. There are the normal giants, ancient giants, and mysterious giants. So going into normal giants, so they're basically human-like creatures, but they are way taller. They are the largest known race, and for height difference, the smallest known giant is about 12 meters, and a normal human can grow from like 1 to 8 meters tall. So, yeah. And even giant humans go barely up to a normal giant's knee. So, kind of like Whitebeard would practically just go up to a giant's knee. And so, giants obviously have more strength than normal humans, considering their size. And giants are most popularly known to come from Elbaf, but they aren't all originally from there. Some are from like other islands because giants kind of move around. They went to other islands, etc. You kind of get what I mean. And yeah, so next is the ancient giants, which the only two known ancient giants is Ors and Little Ors Jr. And so these giants are way taller, stronger. Basically, they beat any physical appearance of a giant. They're basically way stronger and better. You kind of get what I mean. And so these guys usually, well, Ors and Little Ors Jr. both have horns, tusks, and unusually red skin. Well, I don't know if you can say red for Little Ors Jr. Anyways, Ors has red skin, Little Ors Jr. has olive skin, and that's really all about it. Like, they're just a better version of a giant, basically. And so the next is the mysterious giants, which these are the only known two are the Yeti Cool Brothers, which mysterious giants are more commonly known as Yetis. So yeah, so these guys kind of have like a somewhat ape-like appearance. They have pink skin, white fur, and obviously since they're Yetis, they tend to thrive more in snowy environments and can camouflage in these conditions. And so since they have the white fur, they're more suitable for these snowy environments. And even though they will shudder sometimes and like shiver, they can survive. So these are larger than normal giants, but still smaller than like Ors and I think Little Ors Jr. I don't entirely know. And considering for their size, they are really fast. I think they're way faster than any. I'm pretty sure they're way faster than any giant or ancient giant. And for those of you who don't you know who the Yeti Cool Brothers are, they're basically two Yetis who live on Vic or not Big Punk, but Punk Hazard, and they're basically two assassins that Caesar Clown uses to hunt people down, whatnot. And so going on, we have the Sky People, which are the Skypians, Shandians or Shandorians, and Birkins. So the Skypians are basically just angel-looking people who live on the Sky Islands. They live on Skypiea and all the different Sky Islands. They are popular for making the waivers, dial boats, and using the different dials to actually like improve their daily life, like using heat dials for like cooking and whatnot. And so they one fact about them is that their greeting is literally putting two fingers on their head like this and just saying "Hey Phil," which I don't know if this is correct. I found it. I got all my research off Wiki Fandom, so if you want to know more, go there. And so on that site, it says that "Hey Phil" is Japanese for belly button, which I found that weird. I don't know if it's true. Don't entirely quote me on it. But yeah, so these guys have small little wings that point upwards, which kind of give their more angel-like appearance. And so their government is weird because to continue on with the angel-like appearance, the head of their government is known as a god. Like they literally call him God, which for any of you who actually have seen the Skypiea arc is Neru, which screw him. Once again, I hate him. He is stupid. Alright. So moving on is the Shandian or Shandorians. And so these were originally people who like originated in the Blue Sea on the island of Jaya, and which so they their island was shot into the sky using the knockup stream, which is how Luffy and the Straw Hats got up to Skypiea. And so they wear primitive clothing and have larger wings, which how you can kind of tell them apart. But they're kind of the Shandorians are people who originally like were from the ground, but then they got shot up to there and are now living there. So they've grown like used to the technology and all whatnot. And so to them, like now they all know that they've came from like I'm pretty sure they know that they've come from down below, or at least some of them do. But that's kind of really just much it. They were what was what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, Screw it. They were kind of like together with Nolan, and he kind of helped them out a bit. They had that little adventure for a little bit of time before they got knocked up into the sky. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just a lot that, well, not a lot, but that's probably all I have to say about them. Once again, sorry that I'm like really rushing through this, but I have like a whole lot that I'm kind of just trying to go through. And I know this isn't the most detailed, but that's kind of just what I'm going to do. But anyways, next is the Birkins, which these guys are similar to the Skypeans. I'm saying that right? Yeah, I am. They're similar to the Skypeans, and obviously the most common known one is Anu, which is their leader or god. Hate him. So all the other Birkins kind of wear like primitive clothing. They have like robes and stuff like that, and I don't really entirely know how to explain them. Obviously, I'm gonna show a picture up, but they're really just like a somewhat mixture of them, except they have the wing situation, and their wings are commonly bigger than theirs. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. All right, continuing on. I still have a bit to go with. Next is the dwarves, which these guys are literally just tiny humans. Like a dwarf could literally fit inside the palm of your hand. Practically how small they are. That big. So these guys doubt they're like hilariously small size. They are very strong and very fast. Like a couple hits could actually probably damage a building. Not completely, but like you could probably knock off a piece of the wall or something like that. But there might. And so these guys are ridiculously fast, but they are very gullible, which helped a lot. And so the most like known dwarves are from the Tata tribe, if I'm saying that right. And so they live on Greenbit near Dressrosa. And so these guys are honestly like really funny. I just love the fact that they're like tiny as hell. And yeah. So the next one that I'm gonna probably briefly go over, because this one's just hella simple, are hybrid races. These are literally just races that have combined together to create a hybrid child. Literally, that's what it is. But an interesting fact is that the thing with merfolk and I think minks, I'm not entirely sure, but I definitely know with merfolk that if merfolk and fishmen, sorry, but if they actually have a child together, it doesn't matter what fish, like, it doesn't matter what fish were in, or actually, like, it doesn't matter what the two parents are, their child can be completely different. Like, say, octopus fishman and a, a mermaid got together, had a child. Poof. Uh, shark baby, like shark fishman. Doesn't, but that just points out that somewhere in the ancestry there is a shark fishman, and boom, yes, that's where they got it from. And literally, hybrids don't even have to be fishmen. It's literally like it could be a human and like a mink hybrid, dwarves and skypian hybrid. Like literally anything you could probably come up with, there's probably a hybrid somewhere. Maybe not. I don't know. Like there, I don't. It's hard to really say with hybrids because it's hard to really write about a hybrid because since there's probably an infinite amount of like hybrids that you actually could make. So continuing on, this one is kind of hella interesting because it's King's unknown race. So his king, if you don't know him, he's from Wano. He's a part of what's his name? You know who I'm talking about. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but he's part of his crew. And so King, he obviously has like those giant black wings. He's like, I'm pretty sure he's taller than normal. Scary persona. But yeah, Oda hasn't really named his tribe. I don't know if he is, but we don't. So far in the storyline, we absolutely have no idea what his race is called. So there ain't really much to talk about other than the fact that he's probably the only one who actually is a part of that tribe, as we know. And so another interesting thing is that since King is an unknown race, Big Mom actually tried to recruit him into her pirate crew just for that reason. I just wanted to mention that. All right. So next race is the Wotan race, which this is just a specific race of a hybrid of fishmen and giants. And these guys are smaller than giants but bigger than humans. They have slightly increased strength, and they can breathe above water. I don't know if they are able to breathe underwater because the only known Wotan is Big Pan, which we don't entirely know too much of him since he was in the Foxy kind of arc, if you want to call it that. Oh, the non-canon thing. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, the only known member of this race is Big Pan, that huge dude. And so continuing on is the long limb humans, which is just a hybrid of long leg and long arm. Which I find this funny enough because they are in a conflict. So I find it funny that two would actually like get together and child. Yes. Poof. But the only known long limb human has been captured by Big Mom and is being imprisoned by her. So we don't know entirely too much. And yeah. So our next few, we're getting close down our list. This video is still probably gonna be like around an hour. But continuing down our list, we have the artificial races, which is more commonly known as automata. I think that's how to pronounce it, automata. I don't know. But these are robots who were built by the Moon People, which, if you don't know, the Moon People are basically they're just a combination of Scythians, Shandians, and the Burkins who originally lived on the moon, and they were more advanced, and that's why those people all have the dials and everything. So they were more advanced, and so they eventually left the moon because they ran out of resources. And so, sadly enough, these guys were left behind on the moon. And even though they're not entirely robot, like they're not entirely robot because they appear to be made from flesh and blood. I don't know how. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to know why. That is weird. But anyway, some were even made on Karakuri Island, but then they were sent to the moon, and I don't entirely know what happened after that. I'm kind of dumb. Yeah. It's kind of sad that these guys are left behind because these guys probably could have helped, like, actually let us know more about the people who are living on the moon, like how that went. Since I don't think they're dead because they're literally like artificial people who were literally built by advanced, like people who are advanced as hell. And then next are the newcomer. It's a newcomer race, which these are literally just queers who have changed their genders thanks to Emporio Ivanko, which y'all know this guy, the queen of queers, or you want to call her. And so that's literally practically it. Like, not to get confused with Okama, the Okama race, which, so these guys, unlike the Okama race, these guys can change their race, or not their race, but they can change their gender continuously, no matter how much they want, thanks to Ivanko's hormone fruit. So yeah, that's literally all it is. Like, the only difference between the two is that the Okama are literally just trans, and they've already switched over. I don't think they can undo it unless they actually use Ivanko's power. And the newcomer are people who have just continuously switched back and forth. All right. So next are the zombies, which, yes, is an actual race, because this is a huge thing on Thriller Bark. And so the zombies are basically reanimated corpses from Gecko Moria using his shadow fruit, or whatever it is. And so these zombies can only be living things, such as plants, people. That's actually pretty much it. I mean, even animals can be turned into a zombie. And so this only happens, though, when Moria actually takes someone's shadow and says, boom, I got a shadow. Poof, put you into this person. You are a zombie now. And so these zombies are practically invincible. You can't really stab them to death, can't really crush them. Like, you can stop them from moving around by, like, capturing them, but the only way you can actually die is by grabbing salt, shucking it into their mouth, and purifying their soul so that their shadow will, like, literally shoot out their mouth and go back to their original person. And going deeply into like more about how Moria fruit works is that he will take shadows and then so the person that he took his shadow from, that person is still going to be alive, but they can no longer go into the sun. If they go into the sun, they burn up and die. But then if the person dies, their shadow also dies. So say like Brooke, he died by going to the sun, then Brooke's shadow or Brooke's zombie would have also died because his shadow is no longer existent. So that zombie can no longer be reanimated. I mean, it can, but just it wouldn't have Brooke's shadow. And so another thing is that all zombies will take on their personality from that actual like person. So like uh so say like Sanji, his shadow was put into that penguin thing. And so Sanji's zombie, even though he didn't remember like Zoro and Nami and everything, but he still kept the trait that he could never let someone hurt a lady. So whenever the animal thing, the animal zombies were trying to like capture Usopp, Chopper, and Nami, Sanji got in the way because he couldn't let them hurt a lady because it was just of his nature. But even though they keep their same personality, they will still like Moria will still command them. Like they can't get away from that part. Like even though like with Oars it took a little bit, they will eventually just follow his command. And so also these guys were from Thriller Bark. We all know that the giant moving ship. All right, and so next moving on to the centaurs, Satyruses, and the harpies. I don't know how to pronounce this last two. But basically these. So this all happened. This race came to life because of the incident at Punk Hazard, where Caesar Khan created that giant gas explosion, and then so the centaurs and the harpies are all prisoners and guards. So if you don't know, Caesar Clown and Vegapunk all used criminals from Impel Down to actually like test on them. Like they literally test on them. And so all the prisoners and guards that were left behind, so thanks to the gas, like the ones that actually survived, they lost the use of their legs. And so when Law got to the island, he made a deal with Caesar saying that literally if you like he said, oh yeah, like I'm gonna prove my trust to you by giving all your men like legs and stuff. And so that's literally what he did. And so he gave all the people legs. Some like even though they're centaurs, they're not all horses. Like there's some that are jaguars, some that are alligators, like brown bear, he's an alligator. And they can literally be any animal. It's just they have the behind part or the leg part. And so going on to Satyrs, how you pronounce it. So these are the ones. These guys are the guys. So all the centaurs and the harpies, these guys are the ones who are normally on the patrol group with Brownbeard. He's their leader, so they just patrol on the island. And so the Sutteries are the ones who are always in the hazmat suits. So they were all given goat legs and horns, like goat horns. And yeah, that's literally what they are, goat legs and horns. But the most known harpy, going back to those, is Monet. And so even though Monet didn't have any disability, Caesar Clown still wanted Law to implement something with her. Sorry. But yeah, Caesar Clown still wanted him to implement her with something, so he gave her bird wings and bird legs. But yeah, that's practically what those are. Alright, continuing to our last three, which the next one that we're going to talk about are the toy race. And so these are Sugar's toys. That's all it is. Like these are people who got turned into toys thanks to Sugar's devil fruit. And so a thing about these guys is that they're still made out of like toy materials like stuffing and wood and all that, but they're just like life size. And so these toys, so how they kind of work is once you get turned into a toy, I'm pretty sure that they're forgotten by their friends. So they're just known as a toy. And so with Sugar's power, once she turns someone into a toy, the second she does it, she has to give them a command and they have to follow that command for the rest of their toy life. But however, Sugar's toy power, so all toys that she's created goes turns back to normal if she gets knocked out or goes unconscious. So that's kind of, I guess, how the Straw Hats defeated her. All right. So next are the homies, which, funny enough, are the creatures that were created by Big Mom Cellfruit. As you know, these are like the like happy trees and whatnot. So these creatures are kind of like the zombies where they've been reanimated, but Big Mom can reanimate literally anything except for corpses. That's the only thing she can't reanimate. So it doesn't matter if it's inanimate, animate, like just like she can literally turn plants, animals, inanimate objects into these homies. I still find that funny. So like why'd you have to name them homies? That's the entire thing. Like why homies? All right, but anything like these guys. So how this works is that Big Mom literally takes someone's soul and pops it into someone. So unlike the zombies, these guys, I don't think they can be purified, or I don't know if their souls can come out of their bodies. But these souls normally tend to live up to 6 months before that object just goes back to normal. So that's why I don't really think they can be purified, just because like after a certain time they just poof, like they're gone. And that's practically just all about that. And so the last one are the modified humans, which the only known modified humans are the Vinsmug family, which is Sanji's family. And so basically these guys are just like superhumans. Like they've had enhancements that help their bodies perform better. Literally all it is. But not to be confused by Frankie because he's a cyborg. Like these guys still have human bodies, but like they still have flesh and everything, but they just have enhancements. Yeah, it's literally all it is. So there's literally no one else but the Vinsmug family that's actually had this and that's really just it. So that's kind of just the end of my list, and that's kind of all the races I'm gonna talk about right now. And so hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, it's probably just gonna be all. I hope you guys like this first of all, because this channel is really just all for your enjoyment, and so please also help us come up with some ideas. Like if you want to see us do something else like this again, please just tell us. We're open to ideas. And once again, don't be alarmed when you see a video with only like me or Aiden, like only Aiden, because that is gonna happen sometimes. We both have agreed to yes, do that. Also, if you guys didn't know, this is a conjoined channel, so we both share it. So don't get alarmed. Like we both do work for this channel. It's just a conjoined thing that we decided to do. And yeah, that's just gonna be all for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later.